Kyle Busch finds himself in victory lane after Bubba Wallace makes a block that he didn't have to make. Ross Chastain decides to poke another person's bubble.
Wynn's gonna punch his ticket to the championship 4.
Got him this time. Oh, he turned it!
No! Make room! Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. By Logano, maybe no! Kenseth takes him out.
Using lessons learned from his father to go from 6th to 1st and score the victory in the Pepsi 400.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. 3 flags in the air.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video back in the studio. My name is Cameron Simpson. Hopefully you had a great time. I only made one video last week, but I did a little bit of filming last week, so we will have a video that I filmed last week that will come out this week. It's a great sit-down interview. I'm working on that right now. Should come out on Friday. There'll also be a video about the Stanley Cup playoffs that should come out tomorrow. I always say should because every time I say it will, it never does come out. We're going to talk about NASCAR at Talladega. And yes, KB, he stole one. He went to victory lane today. Congratulations to Kyle Busch in the 8 car and all of you fellow Kyle Busch fans like me. It's weird when Kyle Busch goes to victory lane and there's cheers for him. I haven't gotten used to that yet. I don't think I ever will get used to hearing Kyle Busch wins followed by cheers. That's just something that it's going to take a lot of getting used to for me and probably for a lot of you longtime Kyle Busch fans. But if people are jumping on board, I mean, good for Kyle. Obviously, it's going to be tough to talk. As much as I love Kyle Busch and I could spend a whole 15 minutes talking about that, I really have a feeling it's going to be a tough video just to solely talk about Kyle Busch because he stole this win. I'm not going to say he didn't deserve it. He was fast for a majority of the day, but for the majority of the day, he was running back of the pack. We'll talk about how it was tough to pass at this race today. But Kyle Busch stole the win. It was in overtime. He got up front after a wreck caused by Ross Chastain. We're going to talk about that after we talk about Bubba Wallace putting the block on Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, by far one of the best cars all day, sitting pretty, heading into overtime. Kyle Busch shoots to the lead, but then Bubba gets ahead of KB, and Bubba will run towards the front and then makes the block. On the final lap, he'll make a block on the 12 car, a block he didn't have to make. If he stays on the bottom, he could have some stuff that could generate. He could have something happen. Instead, he decides to do the predictable thing, make a block, run up the racetrack, and bye-bye Ryan Blaney. We knew the block wasn't going to work. Slams into the wall, causes a really big wreck. Everyone was okay. NASCAR forces to throw the caution flag, and Kyle Busch wins the race. If I were to tell you that block was a foul, and Bubba Wallace agrees. Bubba Wallace in his post-race interview, post-race comment said, I didn't have to make that block. I don't know why I made that block. And yeah, he didn't have to make that block. Tony Stewart in the booth said he had to make that block. No. He could have rode the bottom. He could have gotten a top 3. Maybe he wasn't going to win the race, but he still could have finished well. And by the way, that 23 car is fighting for a playoff spot. So a top 3 is a very good finish for him. It might not seem like that to you. You know, a win is obviously better, but for that 23 car, they're fighting for a playoff spot. I know we're not talking about playoffs yet, but in a couple weeks, we will be talking about playoffs. And that 23 car is fighting for a position always. They're not locked in. They're not guaranteed one. So there's a lot more Bubba could have done there than he did do. And obviously, Bubba Wallace way too hard on himself, as always. He was slamming stuff on the ground. But in the post-race comments, he admitted, that is on me. Blaney has no blame for it. It was all on me. And if I was Ryan Blaney, I wish that didn't happen because I could have won the race. He had a fast car. He probably should have won that race yet again. Ryan Blaney's going to end up finishing 2nd place at a Super Speedway race. It has been over 50 races since his last win. And he's in a tough streak right now, Ryan Blaney. He's trying to break through. I think he will break through. I think he will get a win, but tough break for him. So yeah, I say the finish wasn't fair at all. It wasn't a racing incident. It was an incident that didn't need to happen. But you know what? Kyle Busch won, so that's all that matters to me. Congratulations at 18. Let's go. KB winning 2 races in a row. Something he hasn't done in a very long time, a couple seasons at this point. And then there's the Ross Chastain incident, and it caused a really big crash. Luckily, that 5 car was okay. He was able to keep rolling, but that roll cage got absolutely crushed. He's all right. It was a very hard hit. Ryan Preece was involved in that big hit. But it's the one car just putting himself 3 wide where there was nowhere to go. I mean, the hole was this big, and there's that one car just trying to shove himself through it. And I feel like there was no room for the one car to go at all, and I don't know what else to say. I just think he put himself in a very rough predicament, and he tried to put his car somewhere his car could not go. Again, that's an incident. I get it. It's crunch time. You want to win this race, but the race could have ended a lot differently if that one car didn't decide to make that move. Bubba got the field a little squirrely, though. He put the tire on, the bumper on the 8. The 8 was able to hold on, but then all of a sudden the field just started shuffling like crazy. The one car got loose. He decided to pull out of the pack, and just right down the middle he went, and I don't know what else to say. I feel like the guy at fault for that one has to be the one car, and again, just the one car, finding himself in the conversation week after week, and not for the right reasons. Let's take a look at the finishing results here. As I said, that 8, Kyle Busch, goes to victory lane. Congratulations to Kyle and his team. Great to see them in victory lane again, second time this season. Started back in 17th, kind of was there all day, and just found his way to the front. Ryan Blaney finished second today. Chris Buescher finished third. Chase Briscoe in fourth. Brad Keselowski ends up crawling back for top 5. Eric Jones in 6th. Willie B in 7th. Christopher Bell in 8th. Daniel Suarez, didn't hear of him all day, honestly. Like I said, these finishing results will be a little shaky. He finished 9th. Todd Gilliland in 10th. J.J. Yaley, congratulations to him, in 11th. Chase Elliott finished 12th. Good for him. Alex Bowman in 13th. Ty Dillon in 14th. And Ricky Stenhouse finished 15th. A couple guys that didn't run well. Harrison Burton deserves a round of applause. He did finish 36th, but he was in contention to win that race at the end, so kudos to him. Logano ended up wrecking late in the race. I think it worked out for Logano. He put himself in a decent position, I think, even though he finished 30th. But a tough day for them. All right, let's quickly talk about the package, because going into this race, there was a lot of question about whether or not the cars would be able to run 3 wide, and they were going to run only 2 wide. And I will say this. It's like a traffic jam on the highway, except instead of going 20 miles per hour, they're going 200 miles per hour. And this package is really just the way it is right now. It's neck and neck. It's like a traffic jam. If you can imagine yourself in a car, and I just came off of a road trip, so I'm used to this whole traffic jam thing. Picture yourself in a car side by side with other cars, and you're just barely moving. Maybe you're moving at 50. Maybe you're moving at 20 miles per hour. But picture that at 200 miles per hour, and that's basically what this race was for the majority. And NASCAR drivers don't like that. They want to be able to pass. And I feel like super speedway racing, just the meat and bones of a super speedway race is you can start 30th, and you can be in the front of the pack in less than 10 laps. I feel like that is what super speedway racing was born on. I feel like that's what super speedway racing is. And we shouldn't be taken away from that by developing more of a, I don't know how to say this properly, but just not advertising that, not letting drivers do that. There should be 3 lanes, maybe even 4 lanes at Talladega. We did see 3 lanes at a point in today's race, but I think there should be 3 lanes, 4 lanes, maybe 5 lanes at Talladega. It's wide enough to do that, but you should be able to go from 30th to the top 10, top 15 in less than 10 laps, and they have not been able to do that in this package. So I do think it's time to change the package up a little bit. That will feed into the hit the gas or hit the brake segment. Honestly, not much to talk about in this race. As you know, it's a really short one. I basically touched on everything I wanted to touch on, and this race was good. It was, for the most part, an entertaining race. I enjoyed it. Could it have been better? Sure. But still, an entertainment of a race, and I'll give everyone a round of applause for this one. Congrats to Kyle Busch. I'm going to hit the gas. Give it a B+ today. It was entertaining. All these races are entertaining. But again, passing was a really big issue for me. You were barely able to pass. It was just a tough day out there. Like I said, it was basically sitting in a traffic jam. All right, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.